Don't unmute yet.
What is up, everybody? This is 10-4 Broadcasting. My name is William Tiller. I am joined tonight by my main man, Patrick Morrison. And tonight we're bringing you live action out of the Virtual Racing Association. We couldn't be more excited to be here tonight. I believe this is race number 6 here in this series. And tonight we're at Southern National. But first of all, I want to thank the Virtual Racing Association for having us here again here tonight. And I just want to throw it over to my co-host, Patrick. How you doing tonight here, Patrick?
I'm doing great. I'm really excited to see some open wheel racing tonight, Will. I believe I tuned into the last broadcast you were doing, and I think we were at Lucas Oil Speedway. And where are we tonight? Southern National?
Yes, sir. I believe we were at South Boston last week, but I believe tonight Caden Tufts is trying to go for the turkey. That would be 3 wins in 3 races for Caden Tufts here in this series here tonight. So all eyes should be on him in that 89 machine up at the top. But of course, he's got Kenyon Jones, who also has a race win in this series. Got some big names up there as well, as Nathan Bryant's racing up there with those guys. Got Jordan Tarble up there as well. Got Whitfield in 4th. And here we go, ladies and gentlemen. The green flag is waving here at Southern National, the Virtual Racing Association.
Yeah, the really great thing about open wheel racing is just oh man, as I was just about to say, the handling of these vehicles. Man, yeah, they definitely get turned around, but you gotta wait for those tires to heat up there, Will. Wow. Yeah, that might be a early caution right there at the beginning.
Yeah, Patrick, you'll see those cautions start to rain down like cloudy with a chance of meatballs here in this series. I believe the last series that we called here in the Virtual Racing Association, we had a caution on, I believe, a half a lap. So, but it all shows the difficultness of these race cars, Patrick. You get the engine of a stock car, only 2 gears in them, but it's an open-wheeled concept, and they're ultra sensitive as well. So any kind of contact that you have with another car or the wall, or just a mishap, if you will, you're going to cause either the damage to your car or another car. That's why I love modifieds, Patrick. It just shows the driver's skill on how to maintain these cars. And when you try to make a pass, similar to what we called in the IndyCar race there on Sunday, you really have to pinpoint your positions there on the track. You can't really just bump somebody out of the way. You can't go door to door like in a stock car. You really have to make sure you have enough room to get around somebody, because any tiny little tire touch or even putting your nose on somebody's back fender is going to send that car or your car into the wall.
Yeah, but definitely not easy. When you're saying kind of pinpoint where you want to put it, I mean, you are on such a small track here, so there really isn't a whole lot of room for error. You know what I mean? Because, I mean, we might be able to go 3-4 wide, but that's kind of a crapshoot at that point, seeing if you can stay up front.
Really is, but we see Caden Tufts always with that rocket restart right there, Patrick. Still leading the way here down in the corners. We're back green flag racing after that early caution. Caden Tufts still leading the way there. Got Nathan Bryant right behind him. And Kenyon Jones, who is a winner in this series, is in 2nd position. But like I said, all eyes are on Caden Tufts tonight as he is trying for that turkey. If you're not familiar with bowling terminology, there a turkey is 3 strikes in a row. And if Caden wins here tonight, it would be his 3rd win in 3 races here in the Virtual Racing Association. I believe we had a special announcement before the green flag dropped here tonight, Patrick, that the winner in season points here in the Virtual Racing Association is going to walk away with $150 in cash money. So all things are on the table here in the Virtual Racing Association, and that is a huge incentive to race week in and week out here in this series.
Yeah, $150. I mean, wow, you can't really shy away from that as I believe we're under another caution here, bud. I think everybody's getting a little antsy.
Yes. Yes, sir. I did see a car slightly down pit road there. Maybe we can rev up a replay to see what happened to that car there by themselves, just to take a look. See what exactly happened to that car. I did see it briefly down pit road. It was trying to creep back up into the track. Not sure. We saw what happened there on that first caution there. It happened so fast, but in the second one there, I think we were taking a look at Caden Tufts up there in the lead, and we just didn't see what occurred there to bring out that caution flag.
Let's see what we got here. It looks like, I believe, the 60 car. Let me see if I can find exactly what happened here.
Yeah, definitely, Patrick. And again, we want to thank the Virtual Racing Association for having us here tonight. We're happy and excited to be back here in this league in particular. A lot of great drivers in this league. Very competitive week in, week out, Patrick. I know we've only been in this league, I'd say 5 or 6 races here, and we're at the midpoint of the season, so interested to see who's going to walk away with that championship there at the end.
Yeah, I think we got number 60 here. We'll kind of take a little peek at him right here. Clips that wall.
Yep,
just got turned around. So,
and that's exactly what I was talking about there to start this broadcast off, Patrick. You know, even just the brief touch with that tire onto the wall, it's going to be like you're on ice. You know, you really have to save that race car, and unfortunately, he had a car right next to him when he had that brief mishap there, and you saw the result.
Yeah. But he's starting from the back. It shouldn't have been too much damage. I mean, don't get me wrong. He did clip the wall, and that was a bit unfortunate there, but I believe, we got the pace car lights off, so I think we're back green this round. But as we're getting back to it with number 60, I think everybody just kind of gets a little antsy, not waiting for those tires to tack up, and when we're starting to, you'll start kind of slipping them around. But if we get, probably a good 6-7 laps under green, I think you'll see the handling of these cars really kind of pull around, and actually, you'll see these cars take shape, and they'll handle as we're back under green there, Will.
Yes, sir. And you'll see that here tonight, Patrick, whether it's in the East Coast Modified Tour or this series here in the Virtual Racing Association. I like to say that Caden's the king of the restarts, because no matter where he restarts on the track, he always gets a huge jump on things, and that enables him to do is really start to peel off here on these green flag runs. And you see right now it's a catch-up game to try to catch up to him in the lead. But as you mentioned, Patrick, as this race is going to proceed on, you're going to see different lines starting to form. Right now it's that bottom line there, trying to touch that white line with the tires. But once those tires get a little bit more wear on them, you'll start to see those cars drift up to more of that middle line.
Yeah, and you're right about that.
Oh no!
Boy, that didn't look good.
We have a car up into the fence there, ladies and gentlemen.
Let's see if we can find that guy. Oh man, are they not putting under a caution? Are we still rocking?
We're still rocking and rolling there, Patrick. It looked like it was just a single. Oh no!
Boy, we got that one live though. Who we got?
That's
there?
Jacob Torman there, a driver that I love to pick week in, week out there in that 31 machine. Like he's struggling a little bit here tonight, but still a long way to go here, folks. We've got 100 laps here at Southern National. You see Jacobs now back to rocking and rolling the way he was going there. And Jacobs in the 6th position. Peeler in 5th. Jordan Tarble in 4th. Kenyon Jones is in the 3rd position. Nathan Bryans in the 2nd. And then, of course, Caden Tufts is in the 1st position there. As we're taking a look at Nathan Bryant there for just a second. And you start to see now, Patrick, that line, they are starting to drift up a little bit more from that bottom line. Just a little bit as the laps proceed there. And maybe we can take an onboard ride there with our race leader of Caden Tufts just to get his point of view on the action that he's seeing on the track. There we go. I love these point of views here, Patrick. And as you see, he's just starting to drift just a little bit more up the track, not touching that white line per se with those tires. Just trying to get it to stick there. You saw him get a little loose there on exit.
Yeah, see if we can get something a little more of his angle there. So you can see kind of that narrowed vision there. It doesn't really play well, as you can see. It's just such a narrow area to see. So yeah, when you see some of these drivers kind of hit the wall or kind of bump off other drivers, that's all you got. You know what I mean? And this is where definitely a spotter comes into play.
Yeah, but it's going to be such a confidence boost to see nobody in front of you. You're just basically racing your own race up there when you're in that position. You want an end goal, you want motivation to get around the track, but when you're all by yourself, when you know that you're in the lead and you really don't have much competition around you, just going to give you a lot of confidence there the rest of the way.
Yeah, but I mean, when you're starting to get a pretty good pull there, you're already a second or so rolling off the line. I mean, you can't complain about that.
No, sir, not at all. As you see, Nathan Bryant's, trying to keep him in sights there. See, Kenyon Jones has drifted away in that third position, but that was a bad corner there from Nathan, as we do have a caution on the track there, folks. We'll get that 10-4 broadcasting replay revved up for you to see what exactly happened there. Did see a few cars there down on the bottom of the track. I think it was enough for race control to throw out that caution here. And Patrick, this is, I believe, your first race here in the Virtual Racing Association. We're about on lap 30 or so here. What do you think of the action so far? And I don't want to say who's your race pick, but to put that commentator's curse on somebody, who are you liking so far in tonight's race?
Well, I was gonna say, Tough definitely has the car for the race. It's impressive to see what he's doing so far. And how he's kind of hanging out. So it looks like but yeah. So like I was saying, that probably that 88 car. I see if Tufts, but it seems the caution here may have been the 60 car. Now I kind of take a peek at him hitting pit, and as soon as he rolls out, he kind of gets going, and then seems to catch up in some trouble right there.
Yeah, it looks like he just hit that bottom apron and just got hit the marbles per se, and it's hard on these short tracks, Patrick. The entrance of pit road, you don't want to go down pit road twice. So it looked like he was just trying to avoid going down pit road again. And those, as you mentioned, or as we mentioned, start this broadcast off, these cars are just so sensitive that if you touch that apron, you're going to go for like sliding like you're on ice skates.
Yeah. And it's I mean, we do have 100 laps here, and I mean, these things do turn pretty quick. You see we're almost a third of the way through here, and then, but if we just keep the tires down and get them staying stuck to the track, we should be doing a lot better. But it's just patience, it's experience, and it just takes time. I mean, this isn't easy at all, not by any means, Will.
No, sir, not at all. And I'll have to double check because I believe that the caution laps in this series do not count. That's something that will definitely get fixed for the folks at home on that. Here we go. There were a few rule changes leading into this week, but here we go, folks. This is the restart we're all waiting for, as Caden Tufts didn't get that rocket restart he usually does. Looks like Nathan Bryant did have a run on him going down into one, but wisely followed right back behind him. But Caden's not launching like he usually does on that restart, so there might be a chance to have some racing going on up there at the lead. Oh, man, that was a squeeze job coming out of two there. And you see Jordan Tarbell's up there with Peeler. Jacob Torman's right behind him. Jacob Torman has worked his way up into the top five. You see Nathan Bryant's not giving up on Caden Tufts just yet, Patrick.
No, not at all. And he's trying. He's trying, but man, he wants him. That's as close as he can get.
He's right.
Yep.
He's right there. He's right there, Patrick. If he can just get a good run on one of these corners. Yeah, and you see Caden get really loose there on the exit of two. Nathan's right there. If he can just get that nose right on that left side of that race car coming down into one. And you see right there, yeah, he's not giving up on that. It was not the Caden Tufts restarts that we're usually used to here in the modified series. You see Nathan Bryant's really trying to give him a run for his money here tonight.
A little clip off the wall there on the backstretch.
Looks like Jacob Torman's and other cars piled up in that as well.
Yeah, I believe I think the first top four have not pit, so these guys are still running on old tires. So you do see some of the rest of the field kind of getting the new tires, and I'm wondering pit strategy wise, for fuel, if that's going to take effect later on down the line, because I mean, yeah, you see these guys, we're still running out in the front, and being able to stay out front so far on older tires is the feat, because you would normally think newer tires you'd be faster, but you know, that kind of proves us wrong with the first couple of cautions there, how slick things are getting out there, Will.
Yes, sir, indeed. And looking at the chat, John Sponsler got in there and said they just couldn't get it right tonight. It was tight, and I figured he'd just get it out of everybody's way. So it's a good act of sportsmanship there, knowing that you don't have the car here tonight and you're just fighting things on the track. And instead of causing a big one, just go ahead and park that thing and head to the next track.
Yeah, that's all right. And better luck next week. But I was going to say,
whoa, man!
Whoa,
big action on the
that?
exit of 2 there, Patrick. Oh my goodness, we had some acrobats going down on the backstretch. We saw it just out of our point of view there on the broadcast. Man, they were like flipping and flying like a gymnastics class back there.
yeah, but I bet somebody wish they had that back.
Oh my goodness. That was just on the exit of 2. Looks like 2 cars got tangled up there on the exit, and one of the cars decided to go for a little Ryan Newman tumble down the backstretch.
Yeah, what in the world happened here? I'm trying to see if I can get us a good angle. What exactly happened?
Yeah, we'll get that.
Come on.
Get that replay revved up for the folks at home. Exactly what caused that flipping and flying there as we're under caution here.
Yeah, sorry about that. You gotta forgive me. I'm trying to find exactly how it was caused and who.
Get that revved up for you folks to see. We did have some cars flipping and flying down the backstretch there. We want to get you that good angle to see what exactly happened there on the backstretch. And once we get that figured out for you, we'll have that up on the screen. And I believe we are under caution here, Patrick, here at Southern National.
Here we go. I think I might have it this time. Let's see if we can get this right here. Just gets turned around right there. I was going to say, that's right there. It's probably about as good as I'm going to get. Let me see if I can pull it out just a little more.
There we go. As we see the 3 car. Kevin Haas there. Oh, man. Big action behind him there. As you saw the 3 get loose, you saw some cars checking up.
Oh.
Right there. Bang! Oh, man.
Man.
Huge action here at Southern National.
Yeah, that was a hit. Wow.
Big action there, Patrick. And that replay is brought to you by 10-4 Broadcasting. And we'll get you back in the live action on the track here in just a second. But I believe we were under caution there, Patrick.
Yeah, but I think we're back green. Sorry, I've been hunting this whole time trying to find what in the world happened to get that car, up in the air.
It is all good there, Patrick. As you see, Nathan Bryan again still sticking with Caden Tufts up there in the lead. Taking a look at a few of these cars that are still in the mix back here. He's got middle of the pack here, and of course there's a gap between 3rd and 2nd place there. Jordan Tarble is trying to reel in Nathan Bryan in the 2nd position. Peeler in 4th, Haas in 5th, Newton in 6th, and then Kenyon Jones is in the 7th position. You see Jacob Torman still trying to work that race car around this track here. Each week you see it out of Jacob, Patrick. He's really trying to gain more skills and more momentum in the modifieds. But it's just each week he just gets caught up in these unfortunate events. But my hat's off to Jacob, though, because the trouble that he goes through week in and week out in these races, he never gives up. He always finishes the races. He never parks the thing early. As rough as the night as he might be having, he always puts that car across the line on the final lap. So hats off to him for giving it his all every week in and week out here in the modifieds. But talking about a guy that gives it his all, definitely Caden Tufts there. We spoke to him just last week there, Patrick, and we found out that Caden is a younger driver here. I believe he is only about 14 or 15 years old. He's been talking about running a Legends car up there in Canada. So another one of those young guys that are just dominating here in iRacing.
Wow. Yeah. Hey, what they always say, when you start young, you always get the jump on the beginning of the crew rather than the older guys out there. Your reflexes seem to be a little better. You kind of learn how to compensate for these turns, and when you're actually in the car, these things beat the tar out of you. So after a while, that does take a toll on the body there, Will.
Oh yeah, for sure. Oh no, as you see him scrape the wall just a little bit there. And as Caden Tufts is going to cross this line here, folks, and we'll get that lap. Oh, we are under caution here.
Yes, and I'm going to try desperately to do better than I did last time.
It's all good, Patrick. And this is his first broadcast here, folks, for the Virtual Racing Association. We want to welcome Patrick up into the booth with us here. And I believe, Patrick, this is only your third race producing. So yes. I'd say hats off to you for giving it your all here.
Yep. Got turned around right there.
Oh, man. No. And that's Kenyon Jones and that 73 and that 5 just didn't have anywhere to go.
Yeah. It seems he just kind of overcorrected a little bit, and the tires just couldn't stick to the track. It gets back going. Man.
And I believe it. And then the ghost car runs through him there, Patrick. And I believe that's the 5 machine of Cody McLean.
Yeah, and that'd only be just insult to injury.
You just see that pace car just zoom right through you there. And as we have a break in the action here, folks, I believe we're going to run to our first commercial break to hear from those awesome sponsors that we have here in the Virtual Racing Association. And once those are complete, we'll be right back here at Southern National.
Be sure to check out Tim Mayo Conrad and the Weekend Woodsman crew on YouTube. Make sure you hit that like button to get notifications when a new video drops, and check us out on Instagram and Facebook. Enjoy the race.
And we are back here, ladies and gentlemen, at Southern National. And if you haven't checked out the admin box, that's admin box with 2 X's at the end, definitely go give them a check out. They have a Discord page as well as a website. It's an awesome plug-and-play device that if you're a race controller admin in your league, plug that baby right in. You control caution flags, added laps, but hit that button right now because we're about to go green flag racing here at Southern National here in the Virtual Racing Association. You see Caden Tufts is leading them down onto the backstretch here, taking an on-board ride here with that 3 machine of Kevin Haas. You see Kevin's now faded back just a little bit. He decided to run that line by himself, but an awesome point of view here to see those leaders up there.
Oh man, a little bump and rubbing there in the back.
Up there as well.
Bumping and rubbing in the back definitely got him out of line. So those guys are kind of rolling around in the back. That's going to hurt later on down the line. So hopefully these guys can kind of reel them in and get back in contention here rather than kind of fading back.
Yeah, you really need to do that if you want to compete with Caden up there in the lead. It's really, like I mentioned to start this broadcast off, all eyes are on Caden Tufts up there in the lead. He's really the guy that you need to beat week in and week out here, and he's trying for that turkey here, Patrick, to win 3 races and 3 starts here in the Virtual Racing Association, and it just shows his talent here in the modifieds, you know. Lays it down week in and week out. He's got those restarts down to a pinpoint precision, but right now, tonight, Patrick, you know, he's having to work a little bit to keep Nathan Bryan off his tail.
Yeah, I'm just wondering if Nathan Bryan can overtake. I mean, he's getting close. I just wonder, is this overdriving the setup of his car, or is he just kind of setting him up there a little bit for later on here in the race?
I think he's just trying to find that right move there, Patrick. You know, as you mentioned to start this broadcast off earlier, it's hard to pass on a short track. You know, you have to find your places on the track. So I think right now, Nathan Bryan is kind of like making those mental notes, trying to figure out what position is going to work best. And as hard as it is to pass here, the only line that you really have to pass is that inside lane. And I don't see Caden giving up that lane anytime soon.
No, not at all. Not at all. As we got a little bit of a battle back here, I believe, for
Oh.
the 8th place. These two
The
kind of
8th
squeezing each
position.
other.
And that just goes to what we were talking about there, Patrick. The only way to pass is that inside lane there. And you saw Jacob Tormer go to the inside. And now he's trying to get that position back. But Jacob Tormer's going to keep that position. And as we're watching some action here in the middle of the pack, there's Kenyon Jones up there as well. Kenyon has dropped back a little bit since the start of this race. But what a clean race so far here tonight, Patrick. You know, not a lot of craziness in this race. Oh, just as I was saying, as we have a car go right up into the wall there. Cue up the caution flag, but no caution here. Was able to save that race car, came back down onto the track, and just a single car accident there.
Wow, that hurt a little bit. I guess
Oh, yeah.
I guess you want to join the people in the stands. That's how you do it.
That's it, Patrick. As we see a battle right now, Kenyon Jones is trying to work his way back up there, trying to get around the 3 machine of Kevin Haas right there. You see he's just trying to work to that inside lane there to get that nose, and you almost have to let the guy know in front of you that you're there, because the minute that they try to come down and block you there, it's going to cause an unfortunate event. And definitely Kenyon Jones is there. He's about to push that back bumper with that nose. What an awesome point of view here, riding on board the 3. And this is a battle for 4th position, I do believe. Oh man, so close there, Patrick.
Oh man, yeah, and he's gonna let him know he's there here in a little bit, but like we saw before, one little bump. Oh boy!
Oh no, there he goes! Oh no! Oh no!
Dude!
Gosh!
Wow!
The 3 of Kevin Haas went up into the wall, got really loose, and Kenyon Jones thought he was all free and clear. But as we talked about, these cars, once they get wibble wobbly, you call them the speed wobbles, to use a skateboarding term or a dirt bike term, just came down and clipped Kenyon down there on the bottom of the racetrack. And man, what an unfortunate way for both these drivers who are trying to get back up there to compete for the win.
Man, yeah, it looked like 3 got a little high and then came down into the 73. Wow.
Oh.
Yeah, you may have had to tow that one to pit road, because that was a pretty hard hit.
That was a hard hit, and of course you saw Kenyon Jones starting in the top 5 up there. You know, has had a rough race so far. Was racing his way back up there. We saw that battle ensuing. There's really nothing you can do there. You know, the 3 just brushed that wall, and right there, you know, there's really nothing. That's just racing there, Patrick.
Man. Yeah, and how he was just narrowly missed that 73 flying across him. Wow.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, that's a...
Oh, and the 31 of Jacob Torman, too. That 73 was coming skidding around the track, and Jacob just kept his line, and luckily he was able to avoid that. Man, what a crazy caution. Just as I was saying, it's been a clean race. We haven't had any craziness. We get 2 back-to-back instances, so that's why I don't pick race winners anymore, Patrick. I don't want to put any commentators' curses on anybody.
Yeah, that's hard to say. With Tufts leading the race the way he is, I mean, it may be this may be his race to lose. I mean, he's getting great starts. He's staying out front, and you know, he's keeping his car clean. And really, I haven't seen him really deviate from his line that he normally takes. So, you know,
We'll watch this restart here. Oh, this is a tight one right here, Patrick. Tight restart right there. Looks like everybody checked up too there behind the leaders. Yeah, we did have a kind of a stacking up going on as that green flag dropped. Caden Tufts is still leading the way here, folks, and that live scoring up in the corner that you see is a little bit off. Do you want to be honest with the folks watching here? So we'll keep broadcasting until that checkered flag drops. We'll get all these technical difficulties ironed out for you as we proceed along here in the season. Of course, this is Patrick's first time here producing here in the Virtual Racing Association, but we were having a blast doing this here tonight. as Caden Tufts is still putting it on these boys here in the Virtual Racing Association. And you see right now we're taking a look at the 5 machine of Cody McLean. Now, Cody has been involved in a few instances here tonight, but only 3 cautions on the track here, Patrick. And a 100-lap race at a short track, that's pretty rare.
Yeah, 100 laps. I mean, and they do go by really quick. I mean, we're talking 15 seconds a lap, 4 laps a minute. So these, you don't have a whole lot of. Oh man.
Whoa!
Yeah, you don't have a whole lot of time there, to really make a mistake. And if you do make a mistake, it could be detrimental to your entire race. So yeah, it's hard to stay clean, but short tracks are not meant to be clean, if you ask me. You're always bumping doors and things like that. But as we were saying before, with an open-wheeled car, you can't really risk that.
Yeah, I know. And as I mentioned, to start this broadcast off, we do see a car that spun out there on the top of the track.
Yeah.
Watch out as everybody's slowing down there. As we get this 10-4 broadcasting replay revved up for you. That special announcement that Jordan Tarble announced here in the league Discord page before this broadcast, that the winner in the series points is going to get $150. So a lot more incentive going on here in the Virtual Racing Association. A lot more on the line. So I'm sure the heat's going to go way up there. The thermostat's going to get cranked up to 78, 80 degrees there. And things are going to get hot and heavy here towards the end of the season. But as we get this replay revved up for you, again, we want to thank those wonderful sponsors that have come on board here in the Virtual Racing Association. Admin Boxx, as I was talking about, that's basically like a stream deck for race admins and race controls. It's as simple as a USB plug and play. As we take a look at this replay here.
Seems like O2 got turned around there, right there. Boink.
Yeah.
73 turned him around.
And that's Kenyon Jones right there. And that kind of goes along with what I was speaking about during the broadcast here. You almost have to let that guy know that you're there. You almost have to get on the radio, or if you're in the same lobby with them during the chat, you have to say, I'm here, I'm here, I'm here, I'm here. Because in these cars, once you make contact, unfortunate events happen just like that.
Yeah. And what a heartbreaker. I mean, he was racing real well. He was up there in the 3rd position. I think just the 73 car just got a little hungry and just kind of turned him around there a little bit. So, but I mean, it's not too hard to stop these cars, but the more braking you do, the more brake fade you end up with. And when the brakes get hot and hot and hot, they start to glaze, and instead of sticking and grabbing, they're going to start sliding. So you start running out of real estate, so to speak, trying to regain traction.
Oh yeah, for sure, Patrick. And it almost reverts back to what we saw on Sunday night. We did a special broadcast for the Big Show, and it was the Indy 500 there, a real 100% race. And it's almost the same. I'd like to compare these cars to an F1 or Indy car. Of course, you're not going to see these cars going 230 or 200 plus in some instances, but I feel like the driving in itself is the same as an F1 car or Indy car as far as passing goes. But here we go, side-by-side restart. This is the best restart we've seen all night here, folks. Nathan Bryan and Caden Tufts are side-by-side heading down the backstretch here. So he's going to pull off this. We might have a new leader on the track. Nathan Bryan sticking with Caden right there. They're side-by-side, inches apart here in these open-wheel modifieds. See, Nathan Bryan still trying to get by him here. They're still side-by-side heading down the backstretch. Caden Tufts and Nathan Bryan are still side-by-side right now. They are staying inches apart from one another, Patrick.
Yeah, very, very close. As you can see,
man,
yeah, he just tries to ride him up the track. Keep him true up there so that way he gets the best shot into the turn as he rides Bryan up in there.
Is that the conclusion of the race there, Patrick? Was that the checkered flag we saw?
Yeah, it might be. I think so.
That is the checkered flag there, folks, and we'll get the official results for you in just a second because we are not entirely sure. It might be Caden Tufts with that race victory. Caden Tufts may have won by just a tenth of a second there as we had a side-by-side drag race to the finish.
Wow.
Oh, man. Oh, gosh, Patrick. I just saw it delayed on my screen. We definitely have to rev up that replay for the finish because I believe Caden Tufts has won this race here, folks, at Southern National by inches. By mere inches. Got his nose just out front of Nathan Bryant there on the start-finish line. has won this race here tonight to gobble, 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 win the turkey here. 3 wins in 3 races for Caden Tufts. But boy, check this out, folks. Side by side for multiple laps.
Yeah, it should have been right there.
Yeah.
That was the win right there. Wow, that was close.
If we could rewind that just a little bit there, Patrick, and freeze it right at the start-finish line, right there, folks. Right there. If we could get another view of that. Right
Sorry, I was trying to step
there.
it. Oh, man.
Just by mere inches there. Not even inches, Patrick. It had to be centimeters.
Yeah, I'm trying to... Yeah, just how close. I'm trying to...
If we could get maybe a shot at the line to see, because even race control is probably wondering who won this race and how close this thing was at the end. Right there, Patrick. I think that's the shot that we need. As we're still trying to see who won this race here, folks. It was that close up here in the booth. As we're watching right there. Gosh, that's so close, Patrick.
Man. Yeah, I'm not sure,
Maybe
but
just,
it looks like he might have just had him.
Just by, because you see Nathan Bryan on the outside there is passing him going across the line, but I think Caden was able to get that nose just out there. Wow, Patrick, how close.
Yeah, that was close.
Gotta use that slow motion button there, Patrick. The chat's saying.
Yeah, just a second. Let me. I found this fancy button here that might just do that.
Wow,
Let's
folks.
see if we can get this right here. Oh, too close, man.
Right
Look
there.
like tell me my first day.
Right there, Patrick. And if we could get maybe like another shot of things, we're watching the end. Right here, folks. It's that close. This is how close it was. Oh, man. That's even hard to call up here in the booth. Wow, folks. This was the closest finish that we've ever called here in the modifieds. It had to have been by tenths of a second. It was that close.
Yeah, I don't...
We're not even confident up here who actually won.
Yeah, whether he eked it out or not.
Right there. If we can rewind that just a little bit, Patrick, and then hit that slow-mo right there. There we go. This is the shot that we need. Right there. That's it.
You know what I mean? Who? I really don't know if he beat him. If
I'm seeing just a little bit that nose is poked out just a little bit more of Caden Tufts right there. Oh my gosh, Patrick, we need a screenshot of this finish because that's wow. By just mere centimeters. What a finish, folks. Wow. And they raced side by side since the beginning of that restart. So I'd say, our live scoring was a little bit off in the corner, but I'd say it was at least 2 or 3 laps there. They were racing side by side.
Yeah.
And for us, we would have to say that Caden Tufts is the race winner. We're not 100% confident in that official results, but from what we see up here in the booth, he may have gotten him by just the hair on his chin, I guess. I mean, that was that close.
Yeah, I don't think I can get a better view of what we were looking for here. I mean, that is as close as close can get.
And Patrick, you know what I'll do? I'll see if I can get race control in here to discuss this with us and see if they know exactly who won this race here tonight. Give me just a second. I'll be right back. Hey, Tim, this is Patrick and Will up here in the 10-4 broadcasting booth.
How you doing?
Man, We're at a loss for words. That had to have been the closest finish that we've ever witnessed in all of our broadcasts. We're not even quite sure who won the race. We're looking at the replay now. We've got it freeze framed right at the start finish line. Are you confident in who won this race here tonight, or it's that close? I'd say it was centimeters.
It's really close, and I was just talking to Caden and Nathan, and Caden's got a little bit thicker bumper on his car, I think, so we're gonna have to check that out because he got him by literally a little bit of chrome.
It looks that way to us up here in the booth too. It may have been just the nose of his race car was just out just a little bit more there at the finish.
Yeah, I'm 100% confident Caden got that one over Nathan by very, very.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's crazy how close that those.
Yeah, it looked like
guys
he got him
finished.
just by the bumper bar.
Yep.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, because Caden posted a picture. We screenshotted the finish as well, and it looks like just like you guys just said that the bumper bar, and that had to have been not inches but maybe centimeters. I mean, it was that close.
Yeah, and I didn't think it was going to be that close, but Nathan got one hell of a run coming out of 4 there.
Oh gosh, he was catching from up here in the booth. He was catching them there.
Yeah, he. I think if there was going to be one more lap, it would have been a different story. But
Wow. Yeah, because we saw him trying to poke that nose. He was almost like taking notes throughout the race on when to go and when to put his nose out there. And we saw Caden on that restart before the last restart kind of struggle on the restart. And Nathan still had to reel him in there, didn't have that momentum. But on the double restart there, Nathan and Caden were side by side, I'd say, for the last 3 or 4 laps there.
yeah, it was very fun to watch.
Wow. What a race. Gosh. And Caden completes the turkey, but man, he had to work for it here tonight.
That he did.
Oh, wow. What a finish. We appreciate you jumping in the booth with us, Tim. And again, we want to thank you for having us on here tonight. We have a blast up here, and especially with races like this. Gosh, Patrick, I mean, for your first race here in the Virtual Racing Association, what a finish, man.
Definitely. It's good to see somebody win. I mean, a feat of 3 wins in a row, and to win by just thousandths of a second. I mean,
Jeez.
what a first race. For me, that is amazing.
Oh my goodness. I can't wait to talk to Caden and Nathan about this because, wow, I am almost speechless up here because that had to have been, gosh. You don't know if you won or not at the end. Looked like Caden kind of knew it, though. He was burning down once he crossed that finish line. So,
he spiked the brakes and started doing his celebration immediately.
yeah. And me and Patrick actually spoke about, because we called an Indy 500 race on Sunday in a league called the Big Show. And one of their best drivers is a driver named Landon Gentry. And he's only about 14 or 15 years old. And I believe Caden's only about 14 or 15 years old as well. What do you think it is about these young drivers that really come in and can dominate here in iRacing?
I don't know. They get to grow up with it a little bit,
Right.
a little bit more. Like, I'm almost 40, so I started out on the old Ataris and a black and white screen. So this is all way new. And trying to get used to racing this as opposed to like when I was a kid running NASCAR 98 and you could just bounce off the wall and keep rolling.
Right. Yeah, yeah. I remember the NASCAR Thunder games back in the day on the original Xbox. But gosh, what a finish there. But alrighty, Tim, well, we'll let you go. And man, I do want to thank you again for having us here. And what a race it was. And before we let you go, you are race control and you are the admin here in the Virtual Racing Association. We do want to give you that opportunity to shout out anybody you might have had watching here tonight or any of those wonderful sponsors we have in the Virtual Racing Association.
After dealing with vacation, and then I came back from vacation and I had COVID, and I've had my admin box sitting here for about 3 weeks, just waiting for me to finally use it. So tonight was the first night I got to use it, and what a life changer that is! It made it so much easier to go through and give guys wave arounds and everything else. And then
Yeah.
I got to also thank my sponsor, Weekend Woodsmen. We just got back from a hunt out west, so we'll be having that footage coming out soon too.
Awesome. Yeah. Weekend Woodsman is definitely the page to go check out if you folks are looking for hunting tips and tricks. If you just want to get that outdoor content on there, if you're looking for something to watch and burn a little bit of time, they have plenty of content on there, multiple channels of content on there as well. Not a lot of hunting going on down here in Florida. I mean, we hunt alligators and skinny deer down here, but for all the folks that are out west and in the Northeast, if you want tips and tricks on how to make the most out of your hunts, definitely go check out Tim's page, Weekend Woodsman, on YouTube, and make sure to hit that subscribe button, like button, all that good stuff on there. As you said, Tim, or as Tim just said, he's going to have a new video coming this week of his hunt out west, and can't wait to see that content, Tim. And we'll let you go. We're going to go speak with Adam Peeler, the third place finisher. I'm sure he'll have some points of view on how his point of view of that finish was. And again, we want to thank you for having us on here tonight.
Oh, no worries, man. Thank you guys for what you do. Appreciate it.
Of course. All right, Tim, you have a great night, and we'll see you next week.
Yes, sir. You too.
That was Tim Conrad, the race control and admin here in the Virtual Racing Association. And man, Patrick, by just a nose, that finish, just a nose, not even a nose, a bump cage, if you will, there in the end.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and by thousands, I mean thousands of a second. So yeah, I'm glad to see somebody was able to kind of squeak through, you know, and give Tuft a challenge, you know, because I mean 3 races, that's got to be something. Normally people start weighing your car down or disassemble it 2 or 3 times to figure out what's going on. Now I understand this is probably mostly driver skill here, but this is outrageous.
Gosh, and there's that little joke out there that he uses grip packs, but no, folks, it's no grip packs here. And iRacing, Caden is just that good here in the modifieds, and he lives up to his last name and Tuss. He is definitely tough to beat here on the racetrack, but I believe you are catching up with our third place finisher, Adam Peeler. And Adam, this is Patrick and Will up here in the 10-4 broadcasting booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, man, I got you. What's up?
Hey man, what would you think of that race? Because that was a lot of bumping and banging out there.
Yeah, I don't really like to run that way. There was plenty of times, I hope the broadcast caught it, where I would let people who are faster than me go. I think I let Jordan Tarble go twice. I got him on the restart, and then he'd run me back down. I'm not that kind of guy. But that being said, you know, I got ran up the hill a bunch when Kynan and them were coming back through the field, so my patience was kind of down at that last run, and I just decided to send it in there and get in front of him, and if he was gonna have to wreck me to get by me, because I was kind of over me letting everybody else go, but getting ran up the hill every time someone wanted to get by me in a hurry. So
yeah, it was getting close. I saw with about 1 to go or 2 to go, that 73 car definitely on the inside there toward the closing laps. I actually have that in slow mo right here as we're talking to you. Kind of get on the inside of you and pick up the rear end of your car, but you were able to hold it together and go ahead and pull out that 3rd place win.
yeah, it's great. I got the first win of the season before you guys jumped on here, so it's nice to get my first top 3 since that race. I was feeling pretty good, you know, coming into it, winning the first race, and then y'all guys started broadcasting. I was like, heck yeah. And then, you know, the rest of these guys, the 49 and the 88 showed up, and I was like, okay, well, I'm going to go back to work now and really learn how to drive these things. So, but it's been fun.
Yeah. I was going to say, do you have any experimental ideas of how to run Caden Tufts down at this point? Because I mean, he just seems to be winning, and everybody seems to be right close. And I mean, so far you like I said, you were 3rd place here, but you got any idea how to kind of run him down?
You know, I was talking to him while we were waiting, and you know, I told him that I watched his in car, and he could just carry so much more speed into the corner and get the car to rotate than I could. and of course, he said it come with a lot of practice, which I'm sure it did. I don't know. Again, my driving style personally is more set for long runs. I'm very easy in the corners. I care more about corner exit than I do corner entry. So I don't drive it in as deep as those guys. But I guess I'm going to have to go to school and really learn how to do it, because I guess in these short tour mod races, it's going to be the only way to keep up with these guys. So I'm really going to have to go to school and learn how to carry more corner entry speed for sure.
Exactly. Yeah. So some of these guys, they seem to be almost trying to race these like dirt cars, very hard and accelerating in. I'm just impressed at the ability to maintain grip through the turn.
That's the biggest thing. Like when I started trying to do some of that stuff, the biggest thing in these cars I feel like is getting that turn entry set. Because like I said, when I tried to do what they were doing, I was just in a 4-wheel slide on corner entry. But I learned that getting back to the gas and kind of getting to drive off that left rear and that right, just really drive off of it, it really works. So they're full grip 100%, but as soon as you step over that grip line, there's no coming back.
Yeah, it's hard. It's definitely hard to return these open-wheeled cars, even though they're light and the tires are nice and fat. I mean, it's still hard to keep the grip on them. But you did place third here at Southern National, and I believe we have Stafford Motor Speedway coming up on the 31st. How you feeling about that track coming up?
Well, these are my favorite cars to drive on the sim. And Stafford is my worst track in these cars. So I'm definitely going to have to do some work this week. I've yet to really figure that place out. So I'll definitely do some work. It's not somewhere I ever went when we would run the official series with any kind of confidence. So I'll do my homework and see if I can give these two guys in front of me here a run for the money next week.
All right, yeah, sounds great. I was going to say, at this point, with as many cautions as we were seeing kind of the previous week and this week, as long as you can stay clean, I think you got a shot up at the front. So, awesome, man. I hope to see you next week. You want to give any shout-outs before we let you go?
Yeah, I will be here next week because I do think I come out of here with the points lead. So that's a big deal. So I'll definitely be here next week. And I've got two. So if you go to race_Oscar on Twitter, that is the other series that sponsors me. They come on board tonight. I run with them on Thursdays. And also I sponsor myself. So Nurse Aviator on Twitch. I live stream this event, and I'll be live streaming the OSCA events on Thursday. So Tuesdays and Thursdays, you can catch me on Twitch.
All right. Adam Peeler, third place finisher. Appreciate you coming into the booth, bud.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
All right, and I believe, Will, I think you've even caught up to Nathan Bryan in that 49 car.
Yes, sir. It is time to speak with the man who almost took down the giant, almost like a David and Goliath there, almost pulled it out, came literally centimeters away from knocking Caden Tufts off of that first place podium. Nathan Bryant, take us through your point of view of tonight's race, and we saw you catching Caden there towards the end. Did you feel like you had him there at the end?
I don't know. I think maybe if Caden raced me different any other time we race, I could have given him a little more of a shot. But I know he runs clean and everything, so I was fine with just trying to stick the outside and hope that it worked. And I mean, it worked a little bit, but obviously at the end there, he had maybe an inch or two on me, but that was a fun race.
Gosh, yeah, we saw you. It was basically you and Caden there up there at the top. We saw a few guys switch in and out of third place. We saw Kenyon Jones up there. Peeler, who finished in third officially. We saw you kind of almost like taking notes, if you will. We saw you kind of like looking at spots, kind of looking to see where you want to put that nose on the inside. But it really came down, I believe, in my opinion, to the last two restarts. It looked like on that second to last restart, you had a jump on him, but just filed back on there. Didn't make your move just yet. But on that last restart, it felt like you kind of timed his restart perfectly to where you guys just restarted side by side and ran like that for the last 3 laps or so.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's one of the advantages to Obviously, racing against Caden in this league and the East Coast one is that you pick up on things, and obviously after a couple of restarts, you start to pick up on those. And I mean, you can hear him when he hits the gas, but obviously that last restart, I timed it really well, and it was right on cue with when he went. I know there's a little bit of complaining in Discord saying that I jumped it, but I mean, it was perfect timing. I have the replay up now, and you can hear both of our accelerators hitting the floor at the same time. But yeah, I don't know. I think if I maybe had more Kyle Busch in me or something, I probably could have just hit him and won the race, but that's not how I race.
No, it seemed like it was one of the most cleanest races we've seen so far. It wasn't a lot of craziness. I know everybody will have their opinion on how their race went, if you got taken out, if you wrecked or whatever, but we're watching the end here in super slow-mo as you guys are creeping up towards the end. And what really impressed me the most is how you two, it really showcases the skill that both of you have in these modifieds. We're able to run side by side for multiple laps and not touch one time. And it really shows the respect that you have for one another and the skills you guys have behind the wheel.
Yeah, for sure. And there's always tip my hat to a racer that you can race like that. I can't say that if I ran an official race that I would trust going on the outside like that. But I know Caden's a talented driver and he's aware of his surroundings. So yeah, I mean, it was just another night finishing behind Caden, I guess.
No, man, I would say it's a lot more than that. I'd say you gave it your all here tonight, and to finish, geez, I'd say mere centimeters from picking up the race win here tonight. I'd be super proud of your effort here tonight. We definitely are of your up here in the booth, and there was a special announcement coming into tonight's race that Jordan Tarble said there's going to be a $150 payout to the winner in the series points here in the Virtual Racing Association. Does that kind of give you extra momentum for next week to knowing that not only do you have the speed, you've timed those restarts down now with Caden, that you could kind of knock Caden off next week and possibly walk away with that 150 when the season ends?
I'm not sure. I'd have to see how the points shake up. After tonight, I know Caden was maybe 6th or 7th. And obviously me, Caden, and Jeff came into this league like a race or two late. So it's kind of a catch-up game for all of us. I'd be fine with finishing behind Caden until it really mattered. Obviously, $150 is definitely more motivation for it, but I'd have to see where the points are at now. I know I was 10th going into this. I'm sure it bumped me up a couple of spots, but only have like 3 or 4 races left, so time's ticking.
Yes, sir, but what a race it was from you here tonight, Nathan, and just centimeters away, if you will. Before we let you go with the second place finish here tonight, anybody that you wanted to shout out here tonight, any sponsors you may have had on that race car, or anybody that you might have had watching?
Yeah, shout out to Thermal Foams, Bison Scaffold, Haynes Supply, Skyworks, McConey Setup Shop, Don's Welding, Buffalo Concrete, Double Clutch, Don Adams Zach for the paint scheme. Shout out to my girlfriend's dad, my family. And shout out to you guys, obviously, for putting this on.
Of course, Nathan, and what an awesome race it was. It was Patrick's first time here in the Virtual Racing Association, and you and Caden definitely put on a show for the folks at home. And for a finish like that screenshot, that picture is going to be passed around, I think, for a long time, because it had to have been one of the closest finish that I've ever seen in iRacing. I don't know about Patrick, but that was a sentiment. We weren't even sure who won the race there at the end. We were a bit confused up here in the booth, but what an awesome race nonetheless there, Nathan, and we look forward to seeing what you have in store on Sunday and then on next week here in the Virtual Racing Association.
Sounds good. Thank you, guys. Yeah, I mean, at the end of that race, I thought I had it because iRacing was saying that I had the win, but then I heard Caden in my ear screaming. So then I looked at the standings and it said it was like .001. Well, it's whatever, but again, I have no problem finishing second to Caden. Kid's talented as heck. And obviously he races me clean, so next week.
What a race, Nathan. And want to appreciate you joining us up here in the booth. And like I said, we look forward to seeing now you got everything timed down. You know how to tame the beast, if you will. It's gonna be crazy here the rest of the season, that's for sure.
Sounds good, guys. Thanks.
And that was Nathan Bryant, Patrick, our second place finisher. And you know, each time we speak to Nathan or whoever finishes behind Caden, you almost hear that like disappointed tone in their voice, like, "Oh man!" And especially with a finish like that, with iRacing first saying that he won the race, and then they checked back and looked at the scoring, and to lose the race by .001, oh, it had to have been a little deflating there.
Yeah, and it's you can't be mad about it. I mean, yeah, you are on the outside. You were racing him hard, and look at it this way: it could have been a lot worse. There could have been a lot of bumping and banging, and it could have put you way back. So, I mean, hats off to these two drivers here in the front for keeping it clean and being able to actually drive through this whole thing and you know actually give us quite the show right there at the end. But I believe we need a quick shout from our sponsors here, and then we'll be right there in winner's circle with our winner.
Yes, sir.
Be sure to check out Tim Mayo Conrad and the Weekend Woodsman crew on YouTube. Make sure you hit that like button to get notifications when a new video drops, and check us out on Instagram and Facebook. Enjoy the race.
And we are back, folks, and I believe it is time to speak with our champion here at Southern National here in the Virtual Racing Association. And Caden, it is winner turkey dinner here tonight for you, because that completes the turkey. You have won 3 races and 3 starts, and man, you couldn't have done it any more crazy, or we were confused on who actually won the race. You pick up the race win here tonight at Southern National by .001. Take us through how you were able to do that here tonight, and what you thought about tonight's race. And that had to have been the most competition that you felt here in some weeks.
Yeah, it was a really close finish. I mean, probably one of the closest ones I've had, or at least one of them. I know I had one that was 0.00 across the dot. But I mean, this was another one of those ones, especially in a tour mod when one little bit of contact could ruin it all. But I mean, like you said, it was 3 for 3. I'm pretty sure it was 4 for 4, but if I'm wrong, correct me. It's whatever. I mean, a win's a win. I'll take it. It's always great winning. It's always an awesome feeling, especially when you're racing with one of the people that you know you can run clean without dooring or anything. I mean, I always race people with respect as much as I can. He races me clean all the time. I mean, I'll race him clean all the time. I mean, I wasn't gonna rub him out or anything for it. I mean, if he won it, he won it. Good for him. We definitely battled all race.
Gosh, and as you talked about that's one of the guys that you can race like that. We're taking a look at the finish here in super slow-mo, and that's one of the things that I spoke to Nathan about before we brought you on here, is that it really showcases the skills and respect that you guys have for one another, that you can race side by side like that in an open-wheeled race car for, I believe it was at least 2 or 3 laps that you guys raced side by side there.
Yeah, it was right from the start. I mean, I didn't have the greatest of starts. He got me pretty good there, so huge shout out to him for that. But other than that, yeah, we ran each other clean, which is usually you don't see when it's coming down to the wire. But like with Nathan, we both trust each other a lot, especially side by side. I mean, we give each other room. So, I mean, I'm glad it ended up the way it did. He's probably not too happy about winning it by, or not winning it by that much. But I mean, we move on to next week and see what we can do.
Yeah, man, we saw kind of throughout tonight's race that Nathan and you kind of pulling away from the third position. We saw that third position kind of change, the names, and that position kind of changed a few times. Kenny and Jones was up there. Peeler ended up finishing in third position. But were you kind of throughout tonight's race and 100 laps at Southern National, were you kind of keeping an eye out on like your rear view, trying to keep an eye out on Nathan, knowing that he wasn't going away at all in tonight's race?
No, I usually don't try to mirror drive actually. I find it messing me up a lot. I used to do it all the time until I realized it was affecting my speed a lot. I used to do it all the time in the real world too, but that's a little different. Sometimes you have to when you're going for a big win, but I mean, iRacing's almost the same. So yeah, it affects me a little bit when I mirror drive. So I try my hardest not to look in the rear view, but when it comes to the wire like that, I think you're usually looking at the mirrors to make sure you don't make any mistakes.
Sure, right. And we saw, I did want to ask you too, with those two last restarts, we saw on the second to last one where Nathan kind of timed it perfectly, but kind of didn't want to make the move just yet and kind of followed behind you. And then on that last restart, he had that timing down perfect. Were you starting to sense that, on that second to last restart that maybe he's starting to figure out when I'm going? And did you know on that last restart that, oh man, he's not going anywhere. He's door to door with me right now?
Yeah, I was realizing that my restarts weren't working out. Usually they usually do. So I wasn't really prepared for that. I mean, I tried changing a little bit, but I mean, he knows me too good. We run multiple leagues together side by side. So he obviously is starting to learn from me, and which is really good. I mean, I love racing side by side like that. It just makes it feel like a lot more short tracking.
Kind of just taking notes on you. And I believe my co-host Patrick Morrison does have a quick question for our winner here at Southern National.
Uh, yeah, but I'm looking at with as many wins as you have here. No one's saying you got grip hacks, and no one's. I don't think there's anybody gonna slow you down. But I've got to know. Just sitting here from the booth, did you ride up that track a little bit to slow him down? Try to get that angle in that turn.
I did rub him out a little bit, but not too much. It was just a little door bar, but I don't really mean to do that all the time.
Nah, that's
Sometimes
fine.
I just get tight or something out of the corner and get into him a little. But
Yeah,
I
that's
mean,
fine.
if I was to maybe wreck him or something or get him a little squiggly, I probably would have gave him the position because I would have probably felt really bad. I've done that one too many times, so
Yeah.
I mean, I try my hardest not to do it, but sometimes it just happens.
Yeah, that's fine. It happens, man. But hey, that's what I was looking at. I saw you kind of ride up that deal and kind of enter a little late. And I said, oh, he's trying to set himself up. That way, it would be a lot closer. And that way you buy yourself a little bit of room and kind of push Brian up the track there a little bit. Man, what a run! I believe next week we're looking at Stafford Motor Speedway. I mean, are you looking to go again? Are you looking to win it? I mean, of course you are, but how are you feeling about the track?
Stafford isn't one of my greatest tracks. I mean, I have lots of laps there, but I mean that track I just can't figure out turn one two. I just remember it. I can't figure it out. It's one of the trickier tracks for me. It's like I guess we can call it a New Hampshire. That track is all about line. Stafford is too, but I mean, I think it more will be a tire game since these cars, I guess, like to get tire spin there from the last race I ran.
Awesome.
Man, Caden. It's funny that Patrick asked you that question because actually Nathan had a similar response to you there, and Patrick got a kick out of it too. He said, "If I'm more of a Kyle Busch driver, I would have put Caden into the wall there and went around him." So it's funny to hear both of you have the same point of view there, while saying, "Well, if I would have just wrecked him, I could have easily won the race." But it's cool to hear that you both kind of have that respect for one another. That it's sort of like, nah, I don't want to win the race that way. If he was faster, if he was getting by me, then let him go by. But it's awesome to hear that from you guys.
Yeah, I mean, me and Nathan are great buddies. Usually almost every race, the past few actually, we've been in the same Discord helping each other out. Especially this one coming down to the final laps. I hopped over to this Discord after being in my own Discord talking to my buddies and stuff. But yeah, other than that, I mean, it's great having a lot of respect on the track with someone. So yep.
And I was going to ask you too, Caden, before we let you go here and go celebrate your another win here. You're starting to rack them up. It's almost like you're having a Kevin Harvick season here, just racking up the wins left and right. It's an interesting question that me and Patrick were talking about throughout the broadcast, and one of our other leagues has a younger driver just like yourself in that league as well. What do you think it is with the younger generation that's made you guys so good at a game like this? Everybody could say it's just a video game. Younger kids are good at video games. But on a game like this, it takes more than that. Like this is actual driving skill. You actually have to use a wheel and pedals, and you're racing actual people as well. What do you think it is that the younger generation is just starting to get more and more, I'd say, skillful, I guess, at a game like this? And we're seeing it out of you. In one of our other leagues, we have a younger driver as well that's dominating in that league. What do you think it is in that younger generation that allows you guys to be so good at a simulation game?
For me, I mean, it just comes through my family. I mean, most of my family all raced in real life. My dad, he won, I think, 7 late model championships out of the 9 years he ran in a late model. So that helps a lot. It just goes through the blood. But I mean, me starting at a younger age in racing, that also helps. Where I'm more used to it, I guess. I don't really know how to describe that, but I mean,
Right.
it takes a lot of practice. I mean, we have a lot more time to especially when we don't have a job or anything like that. But soon I'll be on a job, so maybe I will lose a little bit of my talent. Hopefully not.
Yeah.
It's I guess it's more relatable than saying like playing like a Fortnite or Call of Duty or Halo. You can relate to this more, and as you said, you have it in your blood. And it's the same thing with me as well. My family was in NASCAR for the longest time as well. My grandfather was a team owner. My uncle drove for Richard Petty Motorsports and drove stock cars as well. So it's really, a lot of these things. It's easier to be, I guess, skillful at something or have more interest in something if you can relate to it more, I guess.
Yeah, it helps a lot, especially when your family knows a lot about racing, how to set up cars and how to drive them and all that. It helps a lot. It might not seem like it, but it's a huge help.
Gosh, and we're seeing that real life knowledge and real life experience week in and week out here in the modifieds. And Caden, we'll let you go celebrate here tonight, and you know the drill, man. Anybody that you wanted to shout out here tonight? Any sponsors or anybody you have watching?
Yeah, just the usuals. Factory S Motorsports, JDM Broadcasting, or now JDM TV since something happened, I guess, with his business there. LBT Pallets, Bradwater Mortgages, Geismar Transfer, Tremblay Beverage Room, A-Rod HVAC, and you guys for streaming this race.
Of course, Caden, and big congratulations from from us up here in the booth. It was actually Patrick's first race here. I got to witness firsthand of your skills here on the track. And Patrick, before we let Caden go, what are your thoughts on his driving ability here in the mods?
It's impressive. I did go back to a previous broadcast of you at Lucas Oil Speedway, and now here again tonight at Southern National. I mean, this is starting to become a trend of seeing you leading races. I mean, I thought one of them you led by almost half a lap. So it's nice to see people starting to get close to you now, because now I'm wondering if the challenge is on. Normally what happens is a bounty will be put on your head to beat you for the following race. So that'll really get everybody amped up. So it's your driving skill is impressive, sir. I give you that.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly really appreciate that comment. It means a lot. I mean, I don't usually get the skill comments. Usually broadcasters usually say that, but I mean, it means a lot to me. I really appreciate that. But yeah, I had a bounty on my head. I think it was either this league or East Coast League. I'm not too sure what one it was. I think it was like a $5 bounty, and I think I lost it.
Oh man.
It was briefly. I think it was a brief one. I think it was when Edward Marshall won in East Coast. I think it was just the brief one, but I think you turned around and you won on Tuesday. So it just was a brief kind of like moment there in time where you didn't win a race. And of course, the road course race you didn't win, but I think you turned around and won the Tuesday race and then the Sunday race. So it's a brief moments in time where you don't win and then you win 3 or 4 in a row. So everybody forgets about those times.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully we can stack up a few more wins and maybe another bounty on our head, but hopefully no more bounties, so I don't get targeted.
That's it.
That puts a lot of pressure on my back, especially when there's a target on my back to beat me. Not usually any race. I mean, it's a good sign when you get one placed on you, but it's also not a good sign because it's a higher chance of getting wrecked.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say most people are looking to dump you instead.
It's gonna be hard if you gotta catch them up in the lead.
You're right.
Oh gosh. Well, Caden, we want to appreciate you taking the time with us here tonight. Again, you are the champion here in the Virtual Racing Association. You win here at Southern National. You're creeping up towards the top of the table as well. So it's going to be quite a rush for that special announcement we had before the race here tonight of the series champion walking away with $150 in cash. So, man, I want to put the money in your pocket just yet, but I feel like you can start writing that check, if you will. But again, Caden, big congratulations from us up here in the booth, and we'll let you go celebrate, man. Great job.
Thank you guys, appreciate it.
Man, Caden Tufts, Patrick. I mean, what else is there to say? I mean, we get to know him so well up here in the booth. We feel like we talk to him every week. If we were to do a weekly recap show here at 10-4 Broadcasting, I think he would be our guest every single week there. Because he just puts on a show. I mean, and what a show it was here tonight to win by milliseconds, if you will. And it was a lot more competitive for Caden here tonight with Nathan right on his tail. But again, he crosses the finish line first here.
Yeah, and what a race it was for him to get the jump on most of those restarts and stay out front. But as Bryant was saying, trying to just get him on that launch. If you can get him on the launch, you got one heck of a shot. But you can see just by the hair. I mean, just to win is it's hard to say. I would question at this point what can beat Caden Tufts at this point.
Gosh, it's finished that close, but I feel like like you said, Nathan Bryan's starting to do his homework a little bit there, starting to time those down. But as we switch tracks to next week, you're going to have to get those timings down again. You're going to have to figure out when Caden goes on these restarts, because Caden's going to start from the front. It's almost a given that he's going to start up there, whether it's in first or second. So you really have to start doing your homework early on in the race here. And man, like you said, what is it going to take to knock Caden off the top of the totem pole there, if you will? And you heard it from Caden, though. A lot of his racing skill that you see on the track comes from his off the track experience with his dad being a race car driver himself, his family being in racing. So it's awesome to hear that maybe he does the simulator. He can go to his dad and say, hey, what can I work on? What can I fix here? And what a cool experience that's got to be, though, to sit down with your dad and saying, hey, how do I adjust the race car? How should I take these corners? And I remember when me and my dad used to play Gears of War together. That's nothing compared to what this is. This is an actual simulation of racing, and you're really starting to see week in and week out that experience and that knowledge that Caden has behind the wheel there.
Right. And then for all the young drivers out there, I mean, just think of the opportunity. I think that's what some people will overlook is that, you're getting a lot of these younger drivers having the opportunity to have a simulator. I mean, back, 30, 40 years ago, you were grabbing the old junker out of the backyard, trying to get it running, and then you put it on the track and fold it up over the weekends. Trying to get it running. Here, you have a simulator to put it on a real laser drawn track, with professionals that have built these cars on the simulator, and then to drive, the actual car on the simulator. It really, really helps. So that, people having that opportunity to do that is a lot, has come a long way, being able to come out here and race. But, yeah, well, get ready to wrap this up if you want to go ahead and give us a rundown of our running order.
Yes, sir. I mean, not much to say there, Patrick. It was really the Nathan Bryant and Caden Tufts show here tonight. Caden, again, wins the race by centimeters, if you will. I don't even think the official scoring had it correct. The official scoring had it as .001, but I think it was closer than that. It was literally the bar in the front of the race car that had Caden across the line first. But again, Caden, I believe, picks up his third win in a row, maybe fourth. We'd have to check back on the record books to see what finished there. But again, Patrick, I want to thank you for jumping in the booth with us here tonight in the Virtual Racing Association. I believe you'll be with me the rest of the way here on Tuesday nights. And for the folks at home, if you liked what you saw here tonight from 10-4 Broadcasting, we invite you to go check us out on YouTube and Facebook. We broadcast every Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I believe that's it. Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday here at 10-4 Broadcasting. Go give us a like, share, follow, all that good stuff. Hit that notification bell. But again, for myself, William Tiller, Patrick Morrison, those wonderful sponsors of Weekend Woodsman and Admin Boxx, we want to wish everybody a great night. A big congratulations to Caden Tufts, and we'll see you on the track soon.
Be sure to check out Tim Mayo Conrad and the Weekend Woodsman crew on YouTube. Make sure you hit that like button to get notifications when a new video drops, and check us out on Instagram and Facebook. Enjoy the race.